I'm Brittany Champagne.
And I'm Josh Shawn. Coming up next on LUTV on Fox.
A Cardinal takes flight across the globe recruiting students.
An outgoing president reflects on his term and life at Lamar.
Plus, an alum talks with a famous bum who was a Cardinal before he struck it rich as an Oiler.
It's LUTV on Fox, and it starts right now. Hi everybody, welcome to the award-winning LUTV on Fox, a quarterly television program produced by the Department of Communication right here at Lamar University. Now, just like you remember, each show will feature the people, the organizations, and the departments that have helped Lamar become one of the fastest growing universities in the state of Texas.
With increased enrollment, improved campus life, and overwhelming community support, the reputation of Lamar University will continue to travel across the country and the globe.
Now, speaking of travel, if you want to talk interesting jobs, I'll talk to you about Audra Gerlach. Now, she travels for weeks at a time all across the world, recruiting students for Big Red.
Brazil, Egypt, and Thailand are just a few of the 34 countries Audra has visited. Lauren Gordon will be your pilot as we take flight with the well-traveled international and graduate recruiter. Lamar University's international and graduate recruiter, Audra Gerlach, spends most of her time here in airports.
I recruit international students for the university, which includes undergraduate and graduate students from all countries for all majors. I do that by traveling, also advertising campaigns, communicating with alumni and current international students.
These duties help to create an intriguing and unique occupation that allows Audra to combine a number of her skills and passions.
I had no idea this job existed, actually. I went to graduate school in the UK and ended up working for an ESL school and just loved working with international students and wanted to combine traveling and working with international students. And so I did some informational interviewing, some networking, and found out that universities hire international recruiters. So I started looking for positions, and I found a posting from Lamar University 3.5 years ago.
In what countries have you had the most recruitment success?
The countries that we receive the most students from, first off, is going to be India. That's our largest student population. Second would be Nepal, and China is third, and Bangladesh is fourth. So I go to those countries regularly. The biggest growth, I would say, that we've had since I've started recruiting in a country would be with China. When I started recruiting there, we only had maybe 8 students from China, and after about 3-4 trips to China, we now have almost 40. Well, at Lamar University, most of our international students are enrolled in master's programs. About 70 or 80% are in master's and doctoral programs. Also, the majors that they're most interested in are going to be engineering, MBA, computer science, and other sciences such as chemistry.
Although many of us see travel as appealing, travel writer Paul Theroux once said, "Travel is glamorous only in retrospect," a quote Gerlach can relate to.
It is definitely not as glamorous as it sounds. I'm not getting the movie star treatment when I travel by any means. I'm an economy crammed into, a little seat for 14 hours on a flight to Hong Kong. So if that sounds like fun or glamour, anyone is welcome to try it. Besides that, I definitely am in environments where I don't have normal food choices. There's no air conditioning and it's very hot. I still have to dress professionally, so that can be a little bit miserable. Also, lots of early mornings, going from one city to the next in just a matter of maybe 12 hours.
Living out of a suitcase is a standard practice for Audra. Her average recruiting trip may last for 5 to 6 weeks.
Traveling for the length of time that I do can be very difficult. You're very busy, so you don't have time to, sit and think, oh, I wish I was at home, or I wish I could eat my favorite cereal that doesn't exist over here. You can't really keep in touch with your friends and family like you would if you were home. I do have a dog, and she gets very angry when I leave. I leave her with friends or family, so I definitely miss the dog, and the dog misses me. You would think, oh, just 5 weeks is not that long. Well, people have all these inside jokes or stories that you weren't a part of, and they don't even realize or they don't think about it, but it's kind of a weird feeling when you come back and you've got things that you've experienced that they weren't a part of, and so there's kind of this separation between yourself and your social group.
Even though some turbulence is felt during her journeys, Gerlach's work has given her a ticket to experience different cultures and cuisines all around the world.
The most interesting thing that I've eaten recently on a recruiting trip would be what I thought was a poor cut of beef. It was really chewy, and it was in a sauce, so it was kind of disguised, and it turned out that it was intestine of what animal, I'm not sure, but I survived. I didn't get sick or anything, so that was good.
What is the most interesting thing you've been offered to eat but decided not to?
Sea snakes. They kind of look like these giant worms. They're about this big around, and they're fleshy looking, and I guess it's a delicacy in China, but I wasn't interested. And in Vietnam, I was offered whole grilled sparrow. Yeah, I said no thanks.
With a taste of each new travel, at times that taste is bittersweet. Audra gains new perspective.
When I come back, I just feel so excessive. I feel so privileged. I feel like I have so many possessions, and I kind of have the urge to just throw everything away, get rid of it all. I feel kind of guilty, actually, and I've seen people who have so little and are no less happy than I am.
The Persian poet Sadai once said, "A traveler without observation is a bird without wings." Audra uses her power of observation to help seek out new potential students to help spread their wings at Lamar University.
Well, I do love to travel because I can see the world even if I don't get to do whatever I want while I'm there, and I may be seeing it from a bus window, but it's still something different that I get to say that I've seen. And meeting the students and hearing their stories is amazing, and I just cherish that.
Gerlach is a Cardinal who racks up frequent flyer miles, while she and Lamar University enjoys the trip's rewards. Reporting for LUTV on Fox, I'm Lauren Gordon.
With the success of Gerlach's ventures, the international student population has soared to new heights.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up next.
I'm Steve Junius. Coming up, Student President Thaddeus Green discusses his final days in office.
And before there was Love You Blue, this famous coach spent time at LU.
Stay tuned. You're watching LUTV on Fox. Welcome back. Every end is a new beginning. Former Student Government Association President Thaddeus Green has a deeper appreciation for that quote. LUTV on Fox reporter Steve Junius had an opportunity to talk to Green as he reflects on his term in office and his time at Lamar.
Spokesperson, actor, news anchor, and student are just a few of the roles Thaddeus Green has played at Lamar, but his featured role was that of student government president.
For my campaign, and when I was running for president, was to help keep your campus green, vote Thaddeus Green. And right now we're enacting our Go Green initiative, and we're trying to go somewhat paperless throughout Lamar University. We've started actually with our SGA meetings, and we go completely paperless. We don't print out agendas, we don't print out minutes anymore. Everything's going through OrgSync, which is our online organization portal. It's a way for us to communicate with all of our student organizations as well as for them to communicate with us.
The moment I found out that I was going to be the next SGA president, I was in my room and I got the phone call, and I think I was in a state of shock a little bit because I got the call and I kind of held the phone to my face. And I was like, okay, thank you. It took me a minute to really realize it, but once I finally came down from that little shock, I realized that I had a lot of responsibility. The thing I was most afraid of was disappointing the students or not properly representing them. I knew immediately that the SGA president was going to have to plan the first fall homecoming after 21 years of not having a fall homecoming. And I was really wanting to make sure that it was going to go off without a hitch.
With the momentum gained from a successful homecoming, Green and SGA carried that triumph into an outstanding year. So what would you consider to be your greatest accomplishment as president of the student government?
My greatest accomplishment, I would probably say, well, I'll tell you first what I think students would say. I think students would say probably OrgSync, which helped take our campus to a whole nother level. We're now leading in the Texas State University system with having OrgSync. We're leading as far as technology-wise. But I think probably my biggest accomplishment, I would say, would be connecting with the students. SGA's motto is a legacy of hard work and progress. And I wanted to make sure that I reflected our motto so that it could be passed down to students who came after me. And I think that would probably be my greatest accomplishment. I think students now have a greater understanding of the power that they do hold as students. You know, students are the ones who keep the lights on here at Lamar. We keep the professors employed. That was one of the biggest things I really wanted to make sure that students understood. You know, use the resources that are made available to you. Students really, I think, have a better understanding now. These are the resources that I'm actually paying for and that are made available to me.
It is said that all good things must come to an end.
So I'd like to now introduce SGA outgoing president, Mr. Thaddeus Green.
No, I'm not gonna cry, Dylan. This has been a great year. We've had our ups and our downs, but overall it has been an awesome year. Together we have taken SGA to a new level.
The Toast of Leadership banquet in April marked a new beginning for incoming President Andrew Greenberg, and it also marked a new beginning for Thaddeus as well.
My feelings when Andrew was being sworn in was, one, I can't believe my term is over. I think it finally hit me once he was being sworn in that I was no longer going to be SGA president. So no longer could people call me Mr. Prez or anything like that, Brother President, any of that. I was happy, though, to see that we did have a competent incoming SGA president, though, and officers. I think they'll do a great job.
On that night, the torch of leadership was passed, and past leadership was rewarded.
Now, at the Toast of Leadership, you were honored with the Ann Shaw Award. What did receiving that award mean to you?
That probably was one of the highlights of my Lamar experience. I do feel like I've done a lot for Lamar, but that's only because Lamar has done so much for me. Receiving that award was kind of like almost a thank you, I guess, from Lamar. And I was very, very grateful to receive that. It really showed me that, you know, hard work, even whenever you think no one's watching, someone's watching. So it really was a sincere thank you I felt from Lamar. Even if I wasn't to receive the Ann Shaw Award, I still feel the life experiences I've gained, the friendships, I would pretty much sum it all up in saying the experience that I've gained here at Lamar is worth more than any price of tuition or cost of housing or a student service fee. When I was cleaning out my office, it seemed like I had just really moved into that office. It was kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie, to think that my term was up. The culmination to my entire life at Lamar was coming to an end.
And now it's like I'm moving completely out and won't be back, so it's bittersweet. I'm happy to be graduating, but it is gonna be kind of sad, you know, how many students can actually say they had an office while in school.
After you graduate, when students see your name on the plaque outside the SGA office, how would you like to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for probably being a very personable, friendly SGA president, someone who was capable of handling all of the stress and issues that come with that office.
For LUTV on Fox, I'm Steve Junius.
In the future, Green is hoping to continue to build upon his strong bond with Lamar University as an active alumnus.
An active alumnus, much like the two of us and KBTV Fox 4 sports anchor, Mr. James Ware. Now, coming up next, James teamed up with the Lamar student production crew for an in-depth interview with Southeast Texas native Bum Phillips.
Remember, you're watching LUTV on Fox, the only show that brings the best of Lamar University to you.
After this commercial break, we'll be back with more.
Hi, welcome back. You know, one of the great things about LUTV on Fox is it gives students studying TV and film a chance to work in professional situations, side by side with professionals in their field. Plus, their work is shown on a local affiliate to the entire region. How cool is that? Now, a great example of this teamwork is our next story with legendary football coach Bum Phillips. KBTV Fox 4 Sports Anchor James Ware has more.
Gentlemen, say hello to Bum Phillips.
Got to ask you about your name. A lot of these young kids probably don't understand where the name came from, Bum Phillips.
I always tell them it's not a description. It's just a nickname, you know. And as long as it ain't a description, it's all right.
Yeah.
My sister stammered, and I say stammered, she really stammered, and she could not get the word out, brother. She got bum out, and that was all she could give. And I don't know, you know, she was a year and 11 months older than me, and it just stuck. And when I remember going to the first grade, and they'd call a roll. John here, Mary here, Bum here, you know, that was it in Orange, Texas.
Unaware of the future, Bum Phillips would be one of the most recognizable names and characters in National Football League history. Many are unaware about his connection to Lamar.
Well, let's talk a little about Lamar, your days at Lamar. Talk about your playing days.
Boy, I'm telling you, that was a long time ago. Of course, I had a lot of fun at Lamar. I went to Lamar a year before the war, and then I quit to go into service. And I got back out, and I didn't get back out of the service until late September, so I had to lay out in 45. In 46, I decided I need to go back to college, so I went back and started there again. And great little place, great place to learn. You know, they take personal attention with everybody. At least they did in those days, and I'm sure they still do.
Any memories at Lamar Junior College? What was your fondest memory of your football days there?
Of course, we won.
Yeah.
You know, I always remember the ones you win. And we had good coaching. You know, the friendships I made there, I think no matter where you are, that's probably the most important thing in your life.
Yeah.
Has been in mine. Friendships mean more to you because they help you out when you need help, and everybody needs some help sometime or another.
A lot of these young guys don't remember, you know, you're known as a football coach, but you were also playing basketball in college.
I was a starter on the championship basketball team. We won the conference, you know, that's whatever it's worth. We were better than anybody else anyhow.
Well, I've read you weren't much of a shooter, you claimed, but you could nudge some people and throw people around under the boards.
I was real good at that. You're right about that shooting. I was a terrible shooter. I mean, I could hit a crib shot, but as far as sitting out there behind there wasn't even a three-point line then, but
right.
Shooting from outside I was not good at.
Phillips assumed his next position would be an Oiler. Instead, he took a path that would make him the leader of Oilers decades later.
And if it wouldn't have been for my old high school coach that coached me in high school, taking a head job in high school at Nederland, I would have never went to, you know, that I could make more money in the oil field in 3 days than I could in a week teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't my idea, but he told me he wanted me to do it, so he'd been good to me all of my high school career, coached me and encouraged me and got me to play good. You know, I felt like when he said, I need you, well, that, regardless of everything else, I had a wife and a child. I still went back to school. When I went to Lamar, like I said, I was just going to coach long enough to help him out and then go get me a good job in the oil field and make some money. But once I got into it, I mean, you couldn't have drugged me away from coaching. After 1 year, I was so shot with it that you couldn't have forced me out of that profession. I was going to, not only was going to get in it, I was going to dominate it.
Anything stand out to you in Southeast Texas?
I guess the biggest thing I remember is the players. I mean, games come and go, but players stay. And I remember like I said, the first 4 offensive backs we had. They beat everybody. I mean, I don't mean they beat everybody, but they won a whole lot more than they lost for years.
Paving a winning tradition that started in this area, Phillips has garnered many honors on his road of success, including Bum Phillips Way in Mid-County.
How about a road being named after you? We're excited to get a...
Well, y'all are hard up to... hard.
Got to be an honor, though.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they're proud of it a year from now, as I am now. I hope we don't have any wrecks on it and they blame them on me.
There were a lot of reasons for Phillips being famous enough to have a road named after him. One of those reasons can be summed up in 3 words: love you blue.
Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers, Houston Oilers #1. Yes, we're the Houston.
How would you describe your days with the Oilers and the whole Love You Blue? I mean, that was a sensation.
It was a privilege to get to go through. I mean, I can't really, I ain't smart enough to explain how important it is when a team comes together with a town. I mean, it's just Houston and the Oilers, everything gelled at the same time. You have to go through something like that to be able to appreciate it, because if you've never been through it, you don't really realize how important it is for the people downtown to want you to win too, and to be pulling for you. It was an experience that I'm tickled to death I had.
Bum ended his coaching career with the Saints in 1985. Years later, Lamar's football program was on the verge of a 21-year hiatus.
Well, how about Lamar bringing football back? Your thoughts on that? I mean, it was a successful first year.
Well, you know, getting back in it was the main thing. Once you make your mind up you're going to get in it, I think almost anywhere will do good once they commit. But you got to commit, just like a guy's got to commit to football. He can't just be a player and play when he wants to play and do what he wants to do. You got to commit to something. Well, Lamar, when they finally made the commitment to get back in it, there's no doubt in my mind they were going to do good.
Touchdown, Cardinals!
Great area for football. It's probably the best area overall in the whole state as far as number of players within a certain area. I'll bet you that it's even bigger than Houston is. But it seemed like after they laid off of football for a while, now they come back to it. Now they're going to really get back where they ought to have. Football's got to be #1. I don't care what you're doing. If you don't have a football team, you don't have anything for it, I'm concerned.
Phillips' nickname Bum is not a description. He hopes the Cardinals can experience the same richness and prosperity that football added to his life. Reporting for LUTV, James Ware, Fox 4 Sports.
Working as a rancher, Phillips currently resides in Goliad, Texas with his wife, Debbie.
For more information on Bum Phillips, visit bumphillipsbook.com.
That'll do it. That's a wrap for LUTV on Fox.
For more information on Lamar University, visit lamar.edu. There you can find information about registration, news articles, a calendar of university events, and much more.
Folks, thank you so much for watching. And remember, stay tuned for more shows from Lamar University Television right here on Fox 4. Till next time.